Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great Friday. I hope you finished this week strong. Now, this week didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to, but I'm okay with it. I'll accept it. This is a week for me to really get acclimated back to trading in a really small account. It's a totally different mindset. So, it's a little curve I had to deal with this week, but I feel pretty good coming out of it. I'm really looking forward to the next week and the rest of this year and really growing it. So, trading education is not the learning of fundamentals. Trading education is actually the ability to apply these fundamentals to your trading. That's what the focus of this community is. That's what the focus of my teaching is. I'm not trying to teach you all of these fundamentals just saying that that's your trading education. The main educational component is being able to actually apply these to your trading. It's one of the reasons why I stream live every day. I try to show you everything. Now, obviously, I can't stream all accounts at one time, but what you're seeing is always something you can learn from. And the focus is going to be on this, what I call micro account, and growing it. It's not going to be pretty because it's really difficult. But the lessons that you learn, everything that you go through, these storms that you're going to go through are going to pay dividends on the other end. So you can't quit before your learning is complete. Now, there were a lot of guys that started last year with me, didn't even last a month. It's like, man, you don't know what you're doing and blah, blah, all this other garbage. Well, that $1,000 account, we made it to almost 10 grand at the end of the year. And now we started with 5 grand in that account and we're knocking on the door of 25 grand. Those that stayed saw, and you know exactly what it takes. You know the fundamentals. You know what you're going to need to learn and develop in order to be successful. And that's what this is all about. So not only do I want to teach you the foundation, I want you to be able to grow into your own trader. I don't want you mirroring my trades. That's why I don't do it to where you can mirror it, because that's not what I want you to do. And I know a lot of people say, well, all I need to do is follow you and gain this confidence. No, that's pseudo confidence. That's false confidence. It does you no good. The only confidence you're going to build is when you take the trade yourself, you build your own trade plan, and you execute it. That's where your confidence is going to come in. I know some of you have probably tried to mirror trade, guys. It's like you see somebody and they're posting, I made $5,000 a day. I made $8,000 yesterday. And you're like, man, all I got to do is follow him. Go in when he goes in and go out when he goes out. Doesn't work. That's not a sustainable strategy. You may get lucky and hit once or twice, but your losses are going to eat up any wins that you make. You have to learn. If you're not willing to take your time and learn how to do this, you might as well not even start. Save your money. Don't start. Don't believe these guys that say, I can tell you, I've got an alert service that'll tell you to get in at this price, get out at that price. You have to know why you're getting it. If you don't, you're not going to be able to manage that trade. It just does not work. And you could try it, but that's not what I want you to do. I want you guys to learn how to trade. I want you to grow and develop into your own trader. Now, that's what's important to me. So remember, trading education is not the learning of fundamentals. That's just a little piece of it. Trading education is the ability to apply these fundamentals to your trading. Being able to execute in the market. That's where the money is made. If you can't execute, you can't make money. is just that simple. All right, so let's take a look at this week here. Well, we'll take a look at the day first, and then we'll go into the week. NTNX. This was the second trade I took. Now this hit our reversal scanner. Honestly, it hit it back here, I think. And I really should have went for the trend continuation trade. I kind of hesitated a little bit. It was probably the market had me a little gun shy, and I didn't take it. But I did wait for the bounce here. We got a defined bounce. Then we made a higher low. And I fully expected it to go back through this 20. There was no doubt in my mind, even though I knew it could fail, but I really believed and had no doubt that this thing was going to push through the 20 and make a run to the VWAP. That's pretty much what it did. It actually went through the VWAP. I was looking for it to do that and hit this level here. And then my last target was going to be the 100. So we got through the first two targets. We had a pullback, which you can expect. You can expect when you make a big run and you run through a couple of levels of resistance that you're going to get a pullback. And typically that it will pull back, gather up some more strength, pick up some more buyers, and keep on going. Well, in this case, it failed. It rolled over. Once we lost support, I was supposed to get out, but I accidentally added 50 shares. Now I'm used to being, short selling. So what happened was I was buying the cover and I actually bought 50 more shares. And I kind of waited a minute to see if we would get a little bounce so I could take it off and cover the added ticket that I just added to my total. But it didn't. It started to wash a little bit, so I went ahead and took it off. But that cost me a ticket and some of the profit. Didn't end the day red, but 577. You might as well say this was a scratch day. Wasn't much to it. But this was my second trade. The first trade, went the wrong way. The first trade I took was on MU. This was a 5-minute opening range breakout. But what happened, here's the 5-minute candle, opening candle right here. But we were too close to the 100 period. So I was going to wait for the 100 period to get claimed. And what I mean is I waited for a candle to break above it and close above it. Then the next candle needs to break the high of this candle in order to confirm the claim of that level. So it opened, it pushed up, I bought on the break of the high of that candle, the previous candle, and it failed. But it turned around and bounced. It still didn't get to the level I wanted to. This was going to be my first target up here, the 200. It still never made it to the 200. But so this was just destined to fail from the beginning. But if I saw this setup again, I would probably still trade it the same way. I don't think there's anything I would do differently. The strategy is, once it claimed that level and closed above it, the next candle that traded above it, that was my entry. And it just failed. This is just one of those trades that failed. So nothing I can do about it. Now, I didn't take it off too early. Some of you were asking, I have a $50 max loss. Did I take the trade off too early? No. I took it off because we lost support. These are the technicals that we lost. Now, we did lose the 100, but I was using these technicals as a floor because I felt if we did pull back, if we bounced off of this, we could be building up strength to have a more explosive move over the 100, just like we did here. That's exactly what happened here, but it wasn't ready. It actually sold through the support. Once we lost this support, that's when you take it off. If this happened every day next week, I would take it off once we lose support. The reason I do that, because most of the time when you lose support like this, it's not coming back. So you'll just sit there and hold it to your max loss, and you just gave the market some extra money. I can't afford to give the market any extra money. You know, we started with an $800 account. We're down to $700. You know, at the end of this week. So I can't afford to give away any money. We're going to talk about that here when we recap the week. But this is the right way to stop out. You're going to have a max loss stop. You're going to have a technical stop that's going to tell you that the trade is no good. And that's what happened. I took it off. The trade was no good. So only made $577 a day, pretty much a scratch day. I just call it a scratch. And if you look at this, let's go back to NTNX. Had I taken everything off up here, had I taken the last of my position off up here, I would have been up 50, 60 bucks, and this would have been an okay day. I don't have any problems making $50 or $60. Because if you go back and look at my old Profitly trades, the trades from in Profitly that I downloaded. Now, when I first started, I was downloading everything to Profitly. That's how I was tracking my stats and all of this stuff. And there were days when I made $20, $30, $40. And it was fine because I was consistently green. Most people are not consistently green. So to laugh about me making $20, $30, $40, the joke's really on you because you can't even do that. No, and that's what I used to have to say. I had people that would send me messages all the time laughing at what I'm doing. I was like, are you consistently profitable? I was green $120 last week. What were you? I get no response. Or if they say they were up all of this, they had no way of proving it. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a lie. But the thing is, I'll accept these little losses because guess what? They add up. They continue to add up. The bigger your account grows, the wider price range of stocks you're able to trade. That's when you start growing, because that window of stocks opens up for you. Like right now, we are handcuffed. We start looking at stocks between $10 and $40. We get stocks like MU with a billion share float that really can't move that much. But if it gives us $100, hey, you add $100 to an $800 or $700 account. That's not small potatoes. It's relative to your account size. You gotta look at that. 6 months from now, you might be making 7 times that much. But right now, you have to look at where you are and maximize the potential of your account. That's what we're just focusing on that. And whatever we get along the way, that's what we get. But we're just trying to grow here. So that was the day, and that's the teeny tiny account. All right, so the 5K account, you guys in chat, you guys talked me into trading this damn AVGO. I wasn't going to trade it. I said I wasn't going to trade it. I don't trade these higher price stocks for this very reason. They move in big swings. And the way I trade, the way I piece out, as soon as I take a profit, I may get stopped out within the next 30 seconds. Because that's the way this stock can pull all the way back and beyond my entry. And so I took this on a 3-minute opening range because I don't want to be trading 2 5-minute opening range trades in 2 different accounts. So if I don't catch a 3-minute on this in this account, I'm just not trading unless there's nothing to watch in the other account. So I got this on a 3-minute. This is a 3-minute opening range high here. This solid green line. Caught a really nice move up to 263. And I was just gonna, start piecing out. And got up there and it turned around and came right back and ended up stopping me out at break even. So I waited for it to kind of work itself out. Looks like it was going to flag here. I bought on the flag break over the pole and got a little profit up here, and then it came back and stopped me out. So only $210 on this, but it was just a frustrating trade because of the way it was traded. You could see the volume was kind of down on it. It was light on volume after that first big candle, and it just was not a good trader. But yeah, I'm gonna blame you guys because you guys taught me into trading it. But nah, I'm just kidding. The only person I can blame is me because I made the decision to click the button, and so I have to suffer the consequences. And if $210.53 is a consequence, I'll accept that any day. All right, so RH. Now this was a mystery, but it's not really a mystery because I have a habit of doing this. I accidentally left on. It was either a profit. It was either a stop order or in order to take profit. Whatever the case was, I left an order on when I shut my platform down. When I shut it down for the day yesterday, I left an order out. And it hit during the time I had my platform down. And I had no idea I was in the trade until I logged in this morning to trade AVGO. And I didn't know I was in the trade until after I got in AVGO. And then I'm looking at how the hell did I get in 2 stocks at one time? How did I get in RH? And I don't see an order on my trade log. All I see is AVGO. And it was just, baffling me. But AVGO was moving so good, I had to take my profit. And I'm sitting here trying to manage it. And the whole time, I realized that if I had just taken it off when I saw it, I would have made about $500 on this mistake. And that would have made my week. $500 on a mistake. But I didn't get a chance to look at it until after I dealt with AVGO and after I dealt with the small account looking at MU. Then I came back to this and ended up killing it because we were starting to bounce. Really, I should have just held on to it because it looked like it came back and I would have made some really good money on it. But I ended up taking it off. Then later on in the day, we were bouncing. We went green. We pulled back. We held the moving averages. So, and this is what we were looking at later in the day. And I was talking about RH as it was coming out of lunch. If it held red to green, this would be a good trade. And this is exactly what it did. It actually made it all the way to 112.27, this level up here. But I took it off right before the 200 because I let my interpretation of the market influence my decision. I didn't let the market tell me what it was going to give me. I just assumed that it was going to reject at the 200. So I just took my profit and took it off. When it actually went through the 200 up to that level and would have paid me nicely. So and I've learned this lesson. I know this lesson. And I talked about it here at the beginning of the day. This recap. We cannot assume anything in the market. We have to trade what the market is telling us to trade and how to trade it. The market will tell us what it wants to give us. All we have to do is listen and follow its lead. That's it. If we can't do that, we're going to be in a world of hurt. So I didn't do that, and I kind of cost myself some extra profit. Now I got the meat of this last move, but I did miss out on some significant profit. But all in all, a relatively good day. 558.10, not bad. I should have had the same amount, a little bit more yesterday, but these mistakes will kill you. If you allow these mistakes to kill you, they will. And I have to. Well, yesterday wasn't a mistake. I just tried a trade late that took some money back that didn't work, but I'll have to accept it and move on. If I didn't accept it, I'd still be crying about it and letting it affect my trading. So I may still whine about it, but it doesn't affect me. So that was the day. So let's see how we finished the week up. Oh no, one more. DIS. This is the swing that we took over a month ago. This is the one I told you that this is going to be a long-term swing. I was going to hold it until we broke through the 52-week high, and that's what we did today. Finally broke through the 52-week high, hit my target, and covered some. So we locked in almost $1,900 on the first cover. So I'm waiting for 150 next. 150 is always a strong mental area of support or resistance, depending on which way you're going. So that's my next target. So we should see that next week sometime. I'm looking forward to seeing it next week. But if not, we'll just keep holding and working this out. So because DOS doesn't give you, it doesn't plot over multiple days. It just kind of resets every night. I use a trader view to actually track my swing so that I could put this in my journal and I could see on one chart where my entry was and where my exit was. So you see my entry was back on May 8th for 134.93 right here. This is where we got in. After the big pullback, I felt we were bouncing. This was kind of a 20 EMA cross type trade that I was looking for. And it kind of sold off again. But it came really close to stopping me out, but it didn't. And we bounced. And you could pretty much say it hit the same level. It rejected this same level, which was a little concerning. But if we had made a lower low relative to this candle, it would have stopped me out. So it came close to stopping me out on this twice. And then we started pushing up. Now this date, June 7th, is the last date this was updated. So when I download my trade from today, when I download it to TraderView, it's going to update the chart, and I'll post that on the website in place of my entry. So you guys will see exactly what it looks like, and it'll have, I like TraderView because it gives me everything with my fees and all of that. So I will be posting that probably tomorrow because it updates after midnight. So I'll upload the trade tomorrow and print everything out. It'll be on my website, and you'll see where I entered, and then my first exit. And we're looking for 150. All right, so here's where we are in the micro account. Only down 95.99 this week. Only lost $100. Monday and Tuesday shouldn't have been red days, but again, I was getting acclimated. I was trying to do too much. I didn't really have a good system in place. So now I feel I have a really good system in place. Wednesday was a nice day. Thursday, that was just a trade that didn't work. The execution was on point. The setup was on point. That was just a trade that didn't work. And I accepted that and moved on from it. Today was just a battle. Like I said, had I sold everything at this second part, the second level, then I would have had a pretty decent day. But relative to my account size, that's all I'm looking at. I've got to relate it to my account size so that it makes sense to me. But that's fine. I feel good going into next week. I've got my process down. It's the stocks that we have to trade are really tough because a lot of times they don't give big moves. We may not be able to get in with bigger size, or we don't want to use bigger size because we don't want to give it very little room and then end up getting stopped out. So we have to be really smart and focus and only take the best setups. And we have to be ready when it comes. Remember the term I gave you yesterday? A mindful patience. That mindful patience means that we're going to be working and the learning process is going to continue while we're patiently waiting for the next move. We want to be ready for when that next move comes. We want to be ready for that. If we're not ready, the move is just going to pass us on by. And we're going to be even more frustrated. So we got to always stand at the ready. So I'm really happy about how we managed the account. I feel I did a good job managing it. Tuesday, I might have let it stretch a little bit too far. But like I said, my process really wasn't fully in place, but it is now. So we're going to stick to the rules and we're going to watch this grow. Like I said before, a lot of people quit before we really got going. And they missed a lot of good learning, a lot of good lessons. And I doubt very seriously if any of them are still in trading. But if they are, they're probably still losing money. Unless they found somebody and they actually listen and learn the skills and develop the skills that they need. You're going to lose. You're going to go through storms. And this summer, we're going to have some pretty bad hurricanes. But we get up, we dust ourselves off, and we get back at it. As long as we manage our risk, it will not be catastrophic. The storms will never be catastrophic. So we just need to manage our risk and do the things that we need to do in order to continue to grow and to develop the skills. That's what I'm going to be working with you guys on hand in hand. I'm right there. You got to take advantage of it. Now, all you guys have to do is, if you have a question about something, if you have a trade plan and you need me to look at it, email me the chart. It's just that simple. I get PMs. I got to go through them. Now, I do want to say this. If you send me a PM and I don't answer you, then either resend it or just type in general chat that you sent me a PM. Because what happens, I get so many that I can't see all of them. It runs out of space. And if I don't tab over, I won't see it, and I won't know that this is there. So if you send me a PM and I don't answer it, that means I can't see it. Either resend it or let me know so I could go search for it. But I will not ignore you. I'm there to help you. I made that commitment to help you guys, and that's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so here's our 5K account. You see, we had Tuesday. We had a pretty bad day. Kind of let things get out of hand. Really, I let things get out of hand in both accounts on Tuesday, but got the process back right, reeled it back in. Wednesday was really disappointed. I didn't get to take an earnings trade because I couldn't get in. I couldn't get in earnings whispers, and I didn't have time. I spent too much time trying to get in earnings whispers, and didn't have enough time to do the work manually. I'm able to do it manually and come up with my own. So I'm not overly dependent on earnings whispers. It's just that I waited too late to go on, and I couldn't get on, and I spent too much time trying to get on. So I had to bypass earnings on Wednesday, and that's what I was banking on. I didn't trade Wednesday morning. I focused 100% on the micro account and just took a goose egg on Wednesday. But Thursday we came back strong. I think I had maybe $600 or maybe a little bit more, and ended up giving some of it back with an afternoon trade that just didn't work. So could have had a really good Thursday to match this good Friday we had, but you know, it is what it is. We take the good with the bad and we roll on. So instead of making $1,200 to $1,500 this week, I only made $837.94, but we're up $22.56 for the month, and that puts me just under 12 grand away from $25,000. So I got 2 weeks to reach my goal. So I'm not going to force anything. I'm just going to take what the market's giving me, and I should be at that 25K mark by the end of the second quarter, and we're just going to keep building from there. So let's take a look at the earnings. The equity curve. Now I'll be doing an equity curve for the micro account as well, but I've only got 1 week of data, so that's not much of an equity curve. So once we get the second week, we'll start that, and hopefully we're not going the inverse of this. We don't want the inverse of this. We want it going in the right direction. So we'll be starting one with the micro account then. But that's it for me today. Wrapping up this week. On this weekend, I'm on a first weekend that I can stay home and relax, because next weekend we back on the road, going to see my brother Ernie for his birthday. But gonna relax this week, wind down, try to recharge some batteries, do some work outside, and be ready to get after it Monday morning. So you guys have a safe and prosperous weekend. And if you guys aren't in on Sunday morning for our market strategy and swing trade watch list session, then I will see you guys on Monday morning.